All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. And man, I will taste wine with anyone that calls me up and make an appointment. Well, I shouldn't say anyone, because once you stop by once with wines that are not wines that I would drink, I'm going to say I'm busy the next time you call. But the guys from Vinecraft, they've got a great portfolio of wines. So whenever Florent calls me up and says he's got a winemaker in, I know the wines are going to be decent. And this Durigutti wine from Mendoza, very good. This is a first-generation family in their 11th vintage. And everything's a state bottle from 2 different vineyard sites. And I think that this guy is making some very good wines. I don't like the plastic cork. And I like the fact that they're addressing the problem with the natural cork. But to me, a plastic cork is the least desirable solution for me. I've been to tastings where they've shown plastic corks versus natural corks versus the diama composite corks versus screw cap. And I have to say the screw cap is the best enclosure for a wine that you're going to drink in a short period of time. It gives the wine consistency. And, even though it doesn't have the look that a cork does, and some people feel the plastic cork is better for that reason, I feel the plastic cork just says cheap wine more than a screw cap does. And like I said, in my experimentation, the screw cap keeps a wine fresher and fruitier than any other enclosure. All right, enough said about that. We had their entry-level wines, which the Bonarda, the Malbec, the Cabernet Sauvignon, and Cabernet Franc, all really nice examples of those varietals. Bonarda to me is a good wine. Never going to be a great wine, but very typical of the Mendoza region and of Argentina. This is a country that eats a lot of beef. It's just like Uruguay with Tannat. When you have it when you're sitting out at a barbecue in Mendoza and, with the meat, with the people there, and you say, man, this is a unique experience. I've never had wine like this. Okay, you have it here, sitting at a tasting with Malbec, Cabernet, and Cabernet Franc. The Malbec, Cabernet, Cabernet Franc are always going to show better, in my opinion. Anyways, an interesting varietal and something that's typical. The Malbec, this is what we go to Argentina for. This wine, really nice and shows a lot of nice fruit, really savory. All these wines showing a lovely freshness, even though they've got purity of fruit. They're also wines that you want to have a second glass of. The Cabernet Sauvignon and the Cabernet Franc, like I said, all varietally correct. And one of the things that he says, 1 vine per plant per bottle. So that's showing that these guys understand the concept of, you want to lower your yields to make better wines. And the Reserva line, the difference there, 2 vines per bottle. So even more concentrated than the regular line. The Malbec Reserve is made from very old vines in the Agrello part of Mendoza. 1945 they were planted. It's got 2% Cabernet Franc in it. And 16 months in barrels, 30% new. The rest second use. The barrel use is down 20% this year. Even with all the new fine wines coming online, people are using less oak because they want to show the place where the wine is from, the terroir. This Malbec really showing a good bit of terroir here, and high density planting also giving these wines a little more concentration, richness, blackberry, raspberry, pretty floral notes, black earth, notes of bitter chocolate, really smooth and silky texture. One of the things I love about Malbec, it's not quite as tannic as Cabernet Sauvignon, always a little better drinking on release. This wine leaves the tongue salivating for food, like I said. All these wines really lovely balanced. The Cabernet Sauvignon is made from different vineyard sites and 2 plants per bottle. Again, this whole reserve line, that's one of the things that Sir Durigutti kept resonating to me in my head was, the difference 1 plant per bottle versus 2 plants per bottle in the reserve line. A bit of herbs and some graphite lead pencil notes here to this wine, also showing a little more oakiness in this reserve line, which he does use oak in the entry-level wine, just all older oak. This wine's got some loamy earth notes. And again, really savory, nice savoriness to the finish, leaving the tongue salivating for food. The Durigutti Cabernet Franc Reserve, excellent. This wine is made from Uco Valley and Lujandacoyo fruit, so a blend of 2 different fruits, old vines, and really pretty floral notes in this wine, lavender and violet. That's what you get out of Cabernet Franc a lot of times. And then a little darker berry fruit, blackberry fruit, mocha notes, and a firm hand of tannins. Cabernet Franc, usually very tannic. This is one of the grapes that Cabernet Sauvignon was formed from. Some mad scientists in the south of France mixed Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc and came up with Cabernet Sauvignon. But Franc by itself can be very hard to make into a single varietal wine. And this wine, lovely balance. And I think I like this wine the best of all of the Reserve lines. And then there's the Durigutti Familia, which is, he called it the Grand Reserve, but actually It's a very old vineyard. This is made from, it was planted in 1929. This wine spends 24 months in French oak, first use, and a blend of 85% Malbec, 15% Cabernet Franc, and a little Syrah Bernarda and Cabernet Sauvignon, making the remainder of the blend. And they use 3 plants per bottle for this one. So I'm kind of curious as to how they get all these mathematical things in the vineyards. Usually a reserve is a selection of the better fruit, but he was very adamant about this whole concept of 1 plant per vine, 2 plants per vine, and 3 plants in the Familia Reserva. And this wine, most excellent juice, really showing how good it was on the second day. Alcoholic fermentation is in barrique. They use the punch down, and a really expensive process to make this wine. Also, that barrel fermentation, very intense and concentrated bouquet in this wine. Black earth, blackberries, black cherry, liqueur-like fruit, fresh violets, floral notes. Really big and chewy on the tongue with lots of everything. Plump, ripe fruits, currants, cherries, firm tannins, and a good hand of acidity here as well. This wine, lovely balance, and like I said, really nice on the second day. That's the sign of a great wine to me. You try it on the second day, and if it's better than the first day, that is a wine that's going to last in the cellar. All right, that's what I had the drinks with the folks from Durigutti Vineyards and from Mendoza. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.